Well, Pratik Sinha is the co-founder of Alt News. That's an independent fact-checking website in India, and he joins us now from Ahmedabad. Pratik, thanks so much for joining us. One right up your alley. How do you think misinformation has played a role in these critical elections?
It's played an enormous role. If you look at the Prime Minister's poll blank itself, for the first three phases of the elections, he focused on the Balakot strikes, the airstrikes that happened in Pakistan, and in which the Indian government claimed that there were about 300 casualties, though there wasn't much evidence of, as many number of casualties, and that is what was played over and over again across social media, including fake images and misleading videos, and a lot of people truly believed in that kind of messaging and voted the party because of that kind of messaging. On the other hand, the Congress party also raised several corruption allegations against the ruling party without there being sufficient evidence of the same, and that also played again and again. So, and every single day there were cases of clipped videos, speeches being clipped to give a narrative which was not true, speeches which are about 7-8 year old, again played and clipped without the narrative, so without the correct context. So that is what, a major, this misinformation really dominated the 2019 elections in India this time.
Okay, so if people are susceptible into falling into these myth truths, how do you lead the fight against misinformation then?
So, what has happened in the last couple of years in India is that multiple independent fact checkers have come up, including Alt News, and we have been taking a journalistic approach to the issue of misinformation. And I do believe that the fact checkers in general have done a good job, but it is the social media companies that have largely failed us in trying to control misinformation, because at the end of the day, once we have classified something as false, it is for the social media companies to take down, and they haven't done that effectively. So going forward, we hope that we take the fight into the domain of education and tech as well. The country desperately needs educational reforms to address this issue of misinformation, and they address the issue of lack of critical thought when it comes to information received on their mobile devices through WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. And the use of tech would be for disbursement of fact checks. That is, more and more people should be able to access fact checks. We have seen in the last 2 years that people who have read a lot of fact checks, they have developed a certain amount of critical thought, and the movement forward has to be sort of increase the number of people who are being, who are reading fact checks as opposed to not.
What I'm interested in is, now that the elections are over, how much of a role will organizations like yourself play in sort of Narendra Modi's second term in office?
Well, we will play as big a role that we played in the first 2 years, and it is not because Mr. Modi has come back to power. I believe any party that is in power will use all the tools at their disposal, to set a narrative. And misinformation was not limited to BJP as a party; it was also used by opposition parties. And so, even if it were Congress to come to power, the role of fact checkers still remains the same, and we are here to stay, in the sense that the problem is not going away.
All right, Pratik Sinha from the fact-checking website Alt News, thank you very much for joining us.